We're up to number 8 on the player power rankings, and this is, well, in my opinion, and not just because it's the position I used to play, one of the most consequential and important positions on the pitch. A player that has to have the hands of a back, but the power of a blindside flanker or a second row. Be a proper all-rounder and a great rugby brain, and that's what marks out some of the great number 8s. I've got 10 here. I think possibly the top 5 on this list, tell me by the end of the video if you agree with this statement, I think the top 5 of this list may just be the best top 5 of any position. It's properly box office. You can probably guess some of the names that will be there. I'll get to that. There are, it's the same 10 players as the last time I did it, just after the World Cup. There are 5 going up, 3 going down, and 2 players staying exactly where they are. Remember, this is based, yes, on the rugby that's happened since I did this the last time, just after the World Cup, but also the whole body of work of a player. And also just a little bit of a kind of gut feeling on my part, which is where your feelings come in as well, in the comments. So at number 10, Viliami Mata, Bill Mata, who's just moved to Bristol Bears in the Premiership. Looking forward to seeing him play a lot. He was at Edinburgh. Talismanic figure, whether it's for club and country. I mean, like many Fijians, it's quite rare and special to be that big and that mobile. And even at the age of 32, he's still got some life in him yet. And it was good to see that he was out playing with Fiji in those July tests only a few weeks ago. Number 9, Jasper Wiese. Will he be the Bok number 8? That's the big question. And the reason he slips down a spot is because, well, obviously he's been suspended, so hasn't been able to play. But I don't know. I'm sure Rassie Erasmus absolutely has a plan for how it's going to go. In a way, the Boks have so much choice in so many positions that it actually makes it really hard to know what to do. I just think when you look back at the Rugby World Cup, he was used through the pool stages. He was on the bench in a World Cup final, which is no mean feat. But he was used heavily through the pool stages. But really, when you look back, he was used so much so that they could keep Duane Vermeulen on ice and bring him out when they needed him. And now, with Evan Ruiz, with Cameron Hanekom, Elric Lowe as new faces that are vying for that spot, and of course Quacker Smith, who has the jersey at the moment, will Jasper Wiese get that number 8 shot? Tell me what you think. Interesting. I mean, destructive player. He really is. Number 8, Jack Dempsey. 30 years of age now, a URC winner. And I tell you what, one measure of how much he has blossomed as a number 8 is the fact that Scotland took the decision to leave a handful of really important players behind on their tour to North and South America to have a rest. Jack Dempsey was one of those men. I look at it like this, that he started the Six Nations on the bench, played 20 minutes, and then he played every minute of the rest of the Six Nations. And for club and country, he's just been absolutely outstanding as an athlete, as a ball carrier. And yeah, he pops up in wide channels and does some serious damage. Scotland have got a really good back row for Glasgow and possibly for Scotland as well. And with a Lions year, going back to Australia, that's the carrot for Jack Dempsey, the country of his birth. Aaron Wainwright is at number 7. I mean, he's got one of the toughest jobs in world rugby. He not only is he playing for a country whose union has made an absolute mess of rugby over the last few years, Wales. He also has to play for the Dragons as well, which is that's a bonkers place to play as well. So, and despite all of that, he keeps coming back with a big smile on his face and playing outstanding rugby. He was magnificent. And that's a word I don't use often. And I want to reserve that so it has meaning. He was magnificent for Wales through the World Cup and the Six Nations. And he's only 26. It's unthinkable that Wayne Pivac just chucked him onto, I don't need you. Warren Gatland's brought him straight back in. I've moved him to this number 8 position because that's where he seems to be playing for Wales, and he's playing there fantastically well. Number 6, Bobby V, Rob Valentini, only 25 as well. That surprised me. He can play blindside flanker, he can play number 8. May have to shift him across to that blindside flank position because that seems to be where Joe Schmidt is playing him. But he's been predominantly, through his Australia career, a number 8. 42 caps to his name. If he stays fit, he'll get to 50 by the end of the year. And like I say, only 25. He is big, quick, explosive, very mobile. I've got a lot of time for Bobby V. So I mentioned the top 5, I think, is the best top 5 of any position, certainly so far, and maybe on the rugby pitch. We'll see about that. But number 5 starts with Quacker Smith, who drops down 1 spot. It's a funny one, Quacker Smith. When I did the video on the open side flankers yesterday, there were quite a lot of comments going, "Where's Quacker?" And I've just had to pick him at number 8. He started the last 2 Test matches at number 8 for the Boks, and when he came on during the Rugby World Cup, he was predominantly coming on for Jasper Wiese or Dwayne Vermeulen in that number 8 position. But I understand the confusion because he does play more like an open side flanker. He's a massive breakdown threat. His support play and his engine is incredible. And those battle stats, he's about as destructive. I love the violence of Quacker Smith. He just does everything at 100%, 100 miles an hour as well. He's just, can he get that starting jersey though? World-class operator. Is he being pigeonholed as an impact player from the bench? That may be where we've seen his best rugby. But I wonder, with, Siya Kolisi's not getting any younger. Quacker Smith is, well, he's 31 himself, isn't he? Is he 31? Or have I imagined that? I think he might be. Anyway, he's got some gas in the tank yet. Could he potentially be an open side flanker option? I don't know. But I just know that he's going to be part of the Boks 23-man squad. He'll want to make it the number 8 jersey, but as he's done throughout his career, he'll do whatever role is needed. He is outstanding. He's at number 5, and he's been nudged down, not because he's been bad, but because Ben Earl has been amazing. Now, for years, I have been sat, like many England fans, thinking, Ben Earl is tearing it up in the Premiership, in the Champions Cup. He's winning medals. He's having massive impacts on games, and he's getting overlooked. He's finally got a chance. That said, it's a little bit like Alex Mitchell. Steve Borthwick initially didn't have Ben Earl on his radar, but injuries meant that Ben Earl got a chance last year, and since getting that chance, he has grabbed it with both hands and made that number 8 jersey his own, and he could end up playing number open side flanker. Potentially, when you think British and Irish Lions, if he carries on playing the way he is, he might make himself so unavoidable to pick that he ends up getting shunted into another jersey with, I'll come to the player that will probably be wearing the number 8 jersey for the British and Irish Lions. But what a season Ben Earl has had. Absolutely immense. And, as an Englishman, he's everything that you want to see in a rugby player. I'm sure you don't have to be an Englishman to say that. I'm sure if you watch Ben Earl, you sort of think, yeah, that's a guy that I would absolutely love to watch playing for my team, because he just gives everything. Even the way he celebrates a knock-on, he gives that everything as well. Gives it the beans. Gregory Aldrit, just a Rolls Royce of a player. He drops down a spot, but he is just absolute class. 27 years of age. He's just got one of the best rugby brains around. In fact, that's probably one of the things that is a characteristic of a lot of these number 8s. Just amazing reading of a rugby pitch and a rugby match. Gregory Aldrit's just got one of the best rugby brains on the planet. His hands, the lines he cuts, the defensive holes that he shuts down. He's just ace. As is Caelan Doris. What a player. What a player. Ireland captain for the future. Looks like that's nailed on. And British and Irish Lions captain. I'll make that call now. I can't think of many people who are as guaranteed a position as Caelan Doris is to get the number 8 position if he stays fit. And he's clearly got a little something about him, as he showed by leading that Ireland team in that second test in Durban against the world champions in their own backyard. Again, much like Gregory Aldrit, just an amazing rugby brain that means he is right place, right time. But he's got the athleticism to power. His ball carrying is immense. His defence is great. Just, yeah, I can't say enough good things about Caelan Doris. So the fact that he's at number 2 just tells you how good Ardie Savea is. Caelan Doris is 26. Ardie Savea is 30. You'd think that there will be a changing of the guard at some point. But Ardie Savea, I mean, he doesn't show any signs of slowing down, does he? It looks like he's going to keep on going. As much as anything, I love the violence of the way Ardie Savia plays rugby. His leg drive through contact is incredible. Brilliant rugby player. But what a bloke. What a really good bloke as well. His move to Moana Pacifica, because he wants to do something, he wants to take the talent and take the profile that he's got and try and do something really good. A great experience for him, of course. It's not completely unselfish, his move to Moana Pacifica, but there is an element of selflessness in that he's trying to do something good for the sport, which he clearly loves. And everyone within sport, I think it's fair to say, loves Ardie Savia. I certainly do. He's no question the number one on this list. And as I said, top five, the best top five that we've seen so far. Quacker Smith, Ben Earl, Gregory Aldrich, Caelan Doris, Ardie Savia. That is absolute dynamite. I mean, Rob Valentini's not... They're all great. Your thoughts? I mean, there are players that will be entering in this top 10 in the months ahead. Fresher players. There are some players that might be hanging on a little bit. We'll know a lot more about Jasper Wiese and other potential South African players in the months ahead, depending on who Rassie Erasmus picks. So there will be some changes on that list, but that's as I see it right now. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you on the next one.